Cruises have become really one of the mainstays of luxury travel today, and we have some representatives on this panel. How have high-end cruise lines sort of repositioned themselves today in the market, both for oceans and rivers? I'm going to start with Navin because he's in a company that really is in the forefront of repositioning luxury as something else, luxury expedition.
Yeah, I think I began by saying we're in many ways the antithesis of what image conjures up in your own minds or your clients' minds when cruising is mentioned to them. At a time when the world was building magnificent large ships with an atrium in the middle, we launched our company with a 3-masted sailing yacht, and that's our flagship today. She sails in Cuba and the Caribbean in the winter and the Mediterranean in the summer. And then we began this decade gloriously by carving out a whole new category. Expeditions have been around for centuries, and it's nothing new to mankind. However, luxury expeditions on small ships is a category that we carved out by launching the Boreal in 2010. And what we assumed was that people will want creature comforts, but very importantly, what they will want is to travel with a shared sense of purpose. And that sense of purpose is to enrich their minds and to inspire their spirits by becoming part of the places they visit.
I mean, James, if the question is how do cruise lines compete with hotels, absolutely. We've made the cruise vessel as much a destination as, like I always say, we're not in the drayage business. We're not taking people from point A to point B. We're taking them on an experience which is on board the vessel. Right. So we have fine dining, we have entertainment, clean waters. Yes, we live in inland waterways, so nothing goes overboard. I mean, that's a given for us. We live in the zero tolerance world on clean. But then it's like Navin was saying as well, it's all the enrichment. It's, to cater to the lifelong learner so that if it's, we all know that weather is a big influencer on any vacation. So no matter what the weather is, if you have an enrichment, if you have a lecturer, if you have somebody who can explain, like we always say, the America that Americans don't know, the behind the scenes, then that's what keeps them coming back for more. And I would say we've matched hotels point for point on luxury. We have butler service in the owner's suites and the upper suites. We canapes in the afternoon, laundry service for them. I mean, unpack, all of those. We address all of those, just like hotels.
Absolutely. Now, Ignacio, you had...
a few things going back to your question, how have the cruise lines repositioned themselves? I would say, number one, there's a lot more choice. The experience has been deconstructed. So once upon a time, 20 years ago, you sailed on Royal Viking, you had an assigned table for dinner, and breakfast and lunch. Today, you have a choice of multiple restaurants. You eat when you want, how you want. Everything is delivered the way you want it. Number two is I think the cabin, the stateroom product is a lot more lavish. There are a lot more options. Number three, the itineraries are longer. They're different. They're curated. There is a lot more choice. It's not Miami. It's Madagascar. It's not Puerto Rico. It's Port Moresby, New Guinea. I mean, the world is your oyster. And I also think something very interesting is that more and more luxury cruise lines are going the all-inclusive route, as witnessed by my colleagues, but also Silversea and Regent and Crystal, and more this idea that it's one price that includes everything. And also a very interesting trend, I think, is what's happening in terms of the pre and the post and the excursions that are offered. Silversea just rolled out a whole series called Couture Collection, where as part of their journeys, you could be sailing around the Pacific coast of South America, and you have the opportunity to visit the Uyuni Salt Flats, which is one of the most emblematic and special places in South America, as an excursion, as an experience that you add to your cruise. Even though your ship is tied up in the coast of Chile, you are having these incredible experiences and then back on the ship. So I think it's a much broader definition, and the possibilities are almost endless as to what was offered even 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. I would add on to that because I do think that the whole cruise industry has expanded itself to make itself more relevant to a much broader group of people. And so even when you think of riverboat cruising, you used to think about people that were the older generation going on the riverboat cruises, and now you see riverboat cruises that are geared particularly for people under the age of 30 or
Yeah, we
people
just
under
got
the age of
that,
35, right? So
You gotta talk to Ellen two panels down.
exactly. Well, and that's, I think, but that's the point, is as the cruise industry has been incredibly quick, speed to market in terms of really expanding itself to the relevancy of the luxury traveler and the expansion of how they define luxury in each of the different categories.
Okay. Rick, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, as a tour operator, our purpose is a little bit different. As I said, it's really to tell the story of the destination. And so really our possibilities are limitless, but it's funny that our biggest areas of growth right now happen to be on water, river, and small ship cruising. And thanks to partnerships with companies like Navin's Ponant, we now have 22 itineraries that are on small ships, but about a third are expedition cruising. So how does a tour operator become a leader in expedition cruising? It really has to do with partnerships and exclusivity. So on all of our expedition cruises, we're now the only partner with BBC Earth. And every single one of our tour directors are now BBC Earth Journey certified guides. And that means that BBC Earth is the #1 storyteller of the world. If you've ever seen any of their stuff, they do most of the filming for National Geo. So not only will you have that experience, but you're going to have exclusive footage from BBC and also gadgets, all the gadgets that BBC uses to film, like underwater pole cameras and things like that, big ears to capture things from a distance. We have those gadgets at our disposal with tour directors who are trained as BBC certified guides to bring that experience even a step further. And that's what we can do as a tour operator. Other ways we can tell the story is by, teaming up with people like Ken Burns, right? America's foremost storyteller. And so we can create experiences that are, again, unique, exclusive, and are a bit more relevant to the destination than something that can be produced off the shelf.